everyone, this is Brobuscus, and welcome to another Let's Watch a Death Battle. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I'm back because I really want to do this. Because this is like, yeah, this is kind of my fight, except Crash vs. Spyro is kind of my fight, whatever. It's Optimus Prime versus Gundam, the RX-78-2 Gundam, piloted by Amuro Ray. Now, if you don't know, for whatever reason, I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I am a massive Transformers fan, a massive Optimus fan. He's my... Hang on, I'm gonna move this. I got a webcam and a mic. I don't know if that's obvious, but I also got a new hat. If my vlog isn't out yet, I have a vlog prepared. I just need to get off my lazy button edit. I just hit my mic. I just need to... I need to get off my lazy button and edit it. But it will happen. I promise you guys it will happen. So will this video. Anyways, so I got a new look, kind of. I got a new setup. It's gonna be cool. Anyways, so Optimus vs. Gundam. So yeah, I'm a massive Optimus fan, and I have several things right next to me to prove it. So bear with me, okay? They consist of movies, toys, and a video game. And that's all I got, but I do have other things I will show on screen later. But for the sake of G1, because I have a bunch, this is the... hang on, there it is. This is the last half of Season 2 of the original show. So that's neat. I got this. I know it doesn't seem like much, but what it holds is a full-screen version of the G1 movie. I need to make sure, I need to know where my camera is. This is new to me, okay? I'm getting used to this. And now, I would like to preface this one thing. I have a bunch of stuff from the live-action movies to show off. While I understand people have problems with these movies, they kind of came out around the time I was getting into the franchise. So, but yeah, so I'm sorry, but I have a bunch of them. And honestly, I don't think they're as bad as people say they are. I don't think they're all that good, but yeah, I digress. Let's do toys first, because they're all... I'm trying to get the Masterpiece G1 Optimus. I'll put it on screen. But I want that. I tried ordering it, but I just couldn't. But I have... let's start with toys. I got this little guy from the second movie. I know he's missing an arm, but that just kind of comes with... they've been around for a while. This little guy's from the third movie. I need to get closer to my mic. Yeah, this little guy's from the third movie. Again, I need to make sure I know where my camera is pointing. Anyways, so that's that. This big guy here is from the third movie as well. He's missing a hand. I'm still not used to this camera. He's missing a hand and he's missing a smokestack. I get that. Again, they've been around for a while. And I've got this, probably my favorite Optimus toy I've got, until I get that one I've been talking about. And he's missing shoulder pads. The plastic broke, like it's not like the hinges broke off. And he came with this. It's a trailer, and inside it is this is power-up suit from the third movie. Here's a game. People say it's bad. I get it. I get why people say it's bad. I didn't mind it as much. I digress. And last but not least, I need to order these the best way I can. I have with me 4 out of the 5 live-action movies. The third one's my favorite, because it's really freaking amazing. And yes, I have seen the 5th one, and I don't think it's that great. And yes, I will go see the Bumblebee movie, regardless of whatever's stacked against it. And that can be said for any of the live-action movies. I'm still going to go see them, because I still care enough to want to go see them. I digress. I understand that this is not Bayformers we're talking about. This is G1, and that's why I showed off G1 stuff first. Anyways, I also have several different social media accounts, not just YouTube, but here's my YouTube profile. Here's my here's my profile pic on the Death Battle Wiki, as well as Facebook. I have a Facebook. I don't really do much important on there, so if you don't really care to follow it, that's fine. Right here will be my Discord profile pic, and right here will be one that I never use for my DeviantArt. I don't use my DeviantArt, so if you're looking for cool stuff on there, don't bother. Will I ever use my DeviantArt? Probably not, aside from commenting on other people's posts. But I digress. Oh, by the way, if I ever set up a Twitter, I don't know what I'm going to use for my Twitter. If I do set up a Twitter by the time I get this video out, here's the profile pic. It'll be right in front of my face. And yeah, do I have anything in here that I could show off? Forget it. There's too much I've already shown off. We are 6.5 minutes in, and I've done nothing. Okay. But yeah, so that's Transformers. I've been with the series forever. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing ever, and Optimus is my favorite character ever. So how does that compare to my experience with Gundam? It doesn't, because I don't really watch a lot of Gundam, to be honest. I plan to. I feel like I should. So maybe when this is done, maybe when this is over, I will get around to watching it. But regardless, I'm nervous because I'm rooting for Optimus, obviously. I don't care who Optimus was going up against, I'm totally rooting for him. And I say that, there's a bunch of Marvel stuff on my walls. There's no Transformer stuff anywhere, which is surprising. I feel like I should get at least something up there. I digress. So you may think that Iron Man would be my favorite character ever, and I don't blame you for thinking that. And my favorite Marvel character is Iron Man, but I like Optimus more than Iron Man. But Iron Man is a close second. Just making that clear. But yeah, so I'm rooting for Optimus, clearly. As for what I think should happen, I think he should take this pretty cleanly. From what I can gather, the Gundam is no better than Epion, so I went back and rewatched what they had for Epion. I know it was a while ago, and they may have updated since then, but regardless, I went back to look at that, and I was like, sheesh, this Gundam doesn't stand a chance against Optimus. I don't know if they'll go over it, but Optimus is able to beat the crap out of Megatron, and Megatron in the movie, not in the live-action movie, but in the G1 movie. No, wait, my bad. The beating up Megatron was in the movie. But in the Ultimate Doom Part 3, Megatron survives an explosion that launches Cybertron out of Earth's orbit. This came out to planet level in very, 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 very many, that's not English, versus sites, like Asterisk Battle Dome, which is far superior than a lot of the stuff in Gundam, if not everything. Someone has said that there are like maybe 3 Gundams that could take down Optimus, and that's without the Matrix. And by the way, the Matrix can take out Unicron, who's apparently said to be the size of Saturn. I know Optimus didn't do it, although he might have in the comics. But Rodimus did it, and Rodimus had the Matrix, so... And the preview for Optimus did say that they're giving him the Matrix, so... Yeah, and there's no reason not to. It's embedded in his chest. It's kind of not going anywhere. It's like the most standard equipment he's got. Aside from maybe his gun. And if you want to throw the whole planet-sized explosion thing out there because it's an outlier or whatever, even though it's not. The best the Gundam is listed at, I've worked with the G1 prediction blog for this fight, and they found that the best thing the Gundam has lifted up was around 73 tons, whereas Optimus stopped the collapse of the Washington Monument, which weighs about 80,000 tons. Sorry, my computer just went to sleep. I need to, I need to keep this going. Yeah, so about 1,000 times difference there. And that's without going into highball. There's some highball weight calculations that put it at like 91,000 tons, which is freaking absurd. And after Optimus stopped it from falling to the ground, Grimlock came in and helped him lift it back up so that another Dinobot, I think it was Slag, could use his fire breath to melt it back together. I know it's like, oh, but he had Grimlock's help. He didn't have Grimlock's help when it fell and he caught it, but he did have help lifting it back up. But even like half of that, assuming they were splitting it equally, splitting the weight equally, that's still like 40,000. That's still like 40,000 tons, which is still much heavier than anything the Gundam's lifted up. Gundam can fly at like 200. When they did Epion, I know Epion is way better than the Gundam, but they said Epion could fly at 208 miles per hour, which compared to what we've gotten this season, that's pretty freaking slow. Optimus isn't the fastest either, although apparently there's some comic stuff that have like faster than light speed feats. I don't know how true that is, so don't quote me on that. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to show off. I have this. It's Optimus artwork that I made, which was going to be in a video later this year, but now it's not. Well, it might be in something else that I can't say right now. But anyways, durability. Optimus survived getting shot by Megatron several times in the show. I know in the movie he gets killed by getting shot, but we can't really use that as like a good argument because before that he steamrolls through like a bunch of other Decepticons. Plus it's like way better than the Gundam's last shot. Well, I know it was a super important momentum, but it doesn't compare to Optimus. Amuro's new type abilities have precognition, so does the Matrix. In the comics, the Matrix can take out a being that could destroy a multiverse. So, yeah, there's nothing really working for the Gundam here. So, Optimus should win this one pretty cleanly. But that's kind of the thing. I don't know. I don't like to talk about Death Battle this way, but I don't know how they're going to handle Optimus. I don't expect them to go over the multiverse stuff. Well, if they do, like, how can any Gundams beat that? This is, like, by far the biggest stomp of Season 5 so far, and that doesn't, there's no exception. There's not even the next one, which, by the way, I forgot to mention, this fight and the next fight were shown off at RTX early in August, so I tuned into the streams, so I know what the next one is. So don't expect a surprise reaction at the end. Like, oh, this one's next now. I don't. I already know. This episode is 20 minutes long. That's a record. I mean, it's not, but it's longer than other parts have been. Anyways, so yeah, how they handled Starscream, early, is just kind of like, I don't feel like they did a good enough job with Starscream. Now, I'm not saying he should have won, but I feel like they were kind of being mean to him. And I feel he doesn't deserve that. Like, yeah, he's not the greatest, but I don't know. I feel like he should have been handled a bit more respectfully. And then with Epion, they kind of make out the Gundams to be pretty OP, even though they're kind of not. I mean, they're strong, don't get me wrong, but... And I do agree with Epion versus Tiger Zord, even though I wanted the Tiger Zord to win. Yeah. Oh, also one thing I forgot to mention is the Minovsky particles. People say that they can like bypass durability and stuff, because of some guys said that it's like it. I don't know how it works, but it clearly doesn't, because one of Amuro's one of the feats that the Gundam has was that it was able to one shot a being with its beam saber, but the thing is, before that it no-sold the beam rifle, which had Minovsky particles, so clearly it doesn't bypass durability. Otherwise, why would he need to use the sword? And I saw the preview on Death Metal Cast, and it looks, side note, it looks fantastic, and I can't wait. I'm super excited to see how the fight's going to turn out. Real talk, if Optimus wins, which I'm seriously hoping he does, and he really, really should, if Optimus wins, this will be probably my favorite episode of the show. Given how the music is, given how the animation is, the one thing that bugs me is Optimus's voice actor. I don't think Optimus's voice actor is that great. Now, I always screw up your name. It's Richard something. It's Richard Barcinas or something. If I butchered that last name, and I'm sorry. But if you are watching this, Richard, I mean, no offense to you, I'm sure you're a fantastic guy. And I'm sure you tried, but I'm not the biggest fan. So I'm sorry I feel that way, but opinions are opinions, I guess. But yeah, so and I can't speak for Gundam, obviously. I can't speak for Amuro and Sayla's cameoing. So I can't speak for them because I haven't seen Gundam, but yeah. Now, I've dragged this video on way too long. By the time I start watching, other people have probably already watched it the whole way through. Yeah. I'm praying that Optimus can win this one. I really, really hope that Optimus wins this one. Let's watch this thing. Now before I do, I'm going to move this to the side, since my microphone kind of blocks off certain things I can't see, so it was blocking off the screen. I have my webcam on one side of my computer and Safari on the other side because I can't have them overlapping each other. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to see one. Anyways, let's watch this thing. Boom. That's how I sync it up.
Across this vast world of different nations with different people, it is the clash of opinions which truly divides us. However, there is one universal truth, which absolutely everyone can agree on.
Giant robots are freaking awesome! Like Optimus Prime, the original G1 Transformer.
And the RX-78-2, the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
These aren't just any robots, they're the old school classics, the first of their kind, and we're in for a robo battle of East versus West.
Well, Optimus was originally a Japanese toy.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons,
He was originally
armor,
Japanese
and skills
toy,
to find out
yeah,
who
okay.
would win a death battle. Millions of years ago, on a distant planet called Cybertron, a great unrest grew between two factions of robotic beings, the Decepticons and the Autobots. With little warning, they found themselves entangled in civil war.
Led by that douchebag Megatron, the Decepticons started gunning down any bot they pleased for basically no reason, including some guy named Orion Pax, which will be important later. Rest Rest in peace, Robro.
What Megatron didn't know was that this
I knew all
seemingly
of this,
random
honestly,
encounter
but
would end up
I didn't know that.
reshaping
I didn't know
the
anything about the
universe.
text box.
Thanks to a robot
at the top.
Gandalf, Orion Pax
focus.
was rebuilt into something bigger, stronger, and way more recognizable.
The newest commander of the Autobots had risen,
Optimus Prime.
The Autobots will never sacrifice freedom.
Optimus is a powerful warrior with tons of awesome robo powers.
As a transformer, he can scan nearby objects and morph his body to resemble one, becoming a
Has
robot.
that 26 times with you?
His favorite is a classic 1979 Kenworth K100 tractor. An oldie but a goodie which sports 500 horsepower and can book it over 80 miles per hour.
Oh, they're giving him
Even
Power
gets a
Master
trailer
stuff.
which,
Oh,
when he
boy.
doesn't need it, mysteriously disappears into thin air. No, really, where the
Action
hell does
Master,
that thing
powered
go?
by Nucleon.
Need to know.
Powered by Nucleon
More
from Black
importantly,
Hole.
the life force of every transformer resides in their
So it's teleported
spark,
back
sort
to
of like a
the-
soul.
the
And
special
Optimus
signal
is no
Optimus.
different,
It's actually a
except
weaponized
that his
command
spark
deck,
gives him
yeah.
a few unique abilities.
Yeah, his spark's pretty rare. Compared to other robo people, it gives him increased strength, speed, and
That movie's so
durability.
great.
He can shoot laser beams from his hands, fly with either a jetpack or his feet boosters, and move his limbs around while they're detached
Oh, yeah, I forgot to
like
mention
some
this.
sort of ghost robot Rayman. Ooh!
Optimus is referred to as a 0.1%er. That is how rare a being of his caliber is.
Is that what all those people on Wall Street were protesting?
Even then, many of Optimus's abilities are further enhanced thanks to his possession of one of the most powerful artifacts in Cybertron's history. The
The Matrix of Leadership.
Oh, yeah, you know, it's nothing much. It's just a piece of robot god.
The Matrix is a conduit
it
for the
is.
power of Primus, the creator of the Transformer race. With this, Optimus can heal some of his most grievous wounds.
What? Not all the time. Like, you know, when he died.
And use the power of
That made me
Matrix.
that made me cry as a kid, even though that was like the first thing I saw as with Transformers.
Well, he has an impressive arsenal to hopefully keep that particular problem from coming up again.
Yeah.
About that.
Never again. Regardless, he
Yeah.
wields the Ion Blaster, a giant death cannon which Prime one-hands like a boss. This big old rifle fires
Devastation
bolts
is
of
an
energy
amazing
strong
game.
enough to take down most Decepticons, and can even be fired into space from ground level. Even better, it never seems to run out of ammo.
Yeah.
One can only dream.
Optimus Prime also carries numerous weapons composed of Energon, a raw energy force used by Transformers to power their technology and, well, themselves.
He's got a
It's like their
glowy
blood.
Energon axe and Energon swords, perfect for slicing up robots of all sizes. And I guess they'd probably work pretty good on people too.
Fighting fire with fire, Optimus Prime led the fight against the Decepticons for several millennia. Eventually, the war even found its way to our own Earth.
But we've got nothing to worry about with Optimus protecting the planet. He's tanked blasts that would tear other bots apart, like when this mega refinery exploded. It could be seen from outer space.
Oh yeah.
He's punched the ground so hard, the trees around him freaking exploded.
Child's play, Boomstick. He's strong
Yeah,
enough
the
to
ocean
tip
liner.
this large oil tanker, which, when compared to the real-life sea-wise giant, must weigh over 700,000 tons.
He's tossed a satellite into orbit and punched hard enough to crack Six Shot's chest plate.
Who boasted that his armor was drawn from the compacted subatomic matter of a collapsed star. Just to let you know, such a star would have a density of over 300 billion tons per cubic inch. While great
Jeez.
density doesn't necessarily beget great toughness, this still means Six Shot's armor was 500 billion times more dense than osmium, the most dense natural material on Earth.
You're the most
Nice.
dense natural material on Earth.
What'd you say?
And our robo-commander wrecked it. He's fast enough to catch up to this Decepticon space shuttle in just 23 seconds.
Given the size
And then
of the
fell
Earth
back
here
down.
and the angle of ascent, we can determine he's moving around 125,000 miles per hour. He's also a talented leader, capable of commanding 1,000 battles at the same time via the Omniglobe.
Like
What?
Skynet, but in a giant disco ball. He's used that crazy strength of his to punch
Look at
through
the one-
Megatron,
81,000
who
ton
once
Washington
tanked an
Monument.
explosion big enough to knock Cybertron out of orbit. And thanks to the weird robo
recognize that
magic
feat.
of the
Oh my
Matrix,
gosh.
he's even defeated Unicorn,
Unicron.
who's basically a giant robot Satan who eats planets.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is unstoppable.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Optimus is certainly powerful, but after all is said and done, he has one major weakness.
To violate that law, would destroy our
Yeah.
honor.
He's just too nice.
Yeah, he's kinda all about the whole honor and fair fighting thing, which kinda screwed him over more than once, and even got him killed
Sure.
multiple times. Plus, he killed himself once just because he accidentally broke the rules.
Yeah, I didn't notice this until
But
late
when his
in.
back is to the wall and all
until like a
hell's
couple days
breaking
ago,
loose,
that was
he'll
really
fight
weird.
to the end, riding the eye of the storm.
One shall stand,
I can't do nothing.
one shall fall.
If I were more
In the year
serious, if I were more in the mood to do it,
2179,
I'd probably do it.
humanity
But
has embraced the star.
I'm not gonna bother right now.
Well, mostly.
Right. After a somewhat united humanity expanded across the solar system, the ideologies between those on Earth and those in space
Plus, it probably sound
began
weird
to
on
drift
mic.
apart. A new space
I sound
Republic,
different on
the
camera than I
Principality
do
of
in real
Xi'an,
life,
arose
which is
to
weird.
challenge the Earth Federation.
Space Noid? That like the Domino's pizza mascot, but in space?
No, more like space Nazis.
Oh, well, I guess it's no surprise that they started a war by gassing a populated space colony and dropping the whole thing on the planet. Man, that's messed up. But that's just how it started. For the real star of the show, some smart guys put their heads together and came up with the coolest thing they could think of. Giant fighting robots!
These were mobile suits.
Mobile
And one of
suits.
Earth's nuttier engineers had developed a suit which would put all others to shame. This was the RX-78-2, otherwise known as the Gundam.
There have been lots of mobile suits named Gundam, but this was the original granddaddy of them all.
This experimental mobile suit was hidden
It's
on
also
a remote
a
colony.
really
But
outdated
before the
model.
maiden voyage with the equally classified white base could begin, it was caught in a surprise Xi'an attack.
With just 2 Zaku suits, the Space Nazis wiped out almost all of the White Base's military crew. The only people left to save these secret projects were civilians, who had no idea these things even existed.
Among those who rose up was a young boy named Amuro Ray. Brilliant, albeit standoffish, Amuro was actually the son of the Gundam's chief engineer, and had already stumbled upon the mech's coded blueprints.
So he grabbed the owner's manual, jumped in the Gundam, and flew into the fight. Damn, not too shabby.
And he apparently
for
knew
going off
exactly
just
how to
the
use it.
manual.
Amuro quickly adapted to its complex controls thanks to its learning computer system, designed so the Gundam itself can learn its pilot's limitations and compensate.
Its body is made of a super durable Luna titanium alloy called Gundarium. Of course.
Yet another fictional metal that's way better than anything in real life.
For weapons, it's got twin 60mm Vulcan guns for ears. It's got a shield that can block shots strong enough to take down warships, and a gravity hammer, a supersized flail that's rocket propelled. Whoever came up with that is my goddamn hero. Same with the guy who built the ultra-destructive beam rifle.
That would be the ingenious Dr. Minovsky. Thanks to him, the
That's
beam
where the
rifle is
name
a
Minovsky
marvelous feat of
particles
weapons
come from.
engineering. Minovsky had developed a way to miniaturize the enormous megaparticle cannons found on warships without losing any power.
The result is a Gundam-sized rifle that can take down entire fleets of ships all on its own. It's like having a pistol with all the power of 1,000 tanks.
A single shot
I guess that's
could
one way to
easily
put
tear
it.
through a 13,000-ton Musai-class warship. Given the official stats of this ship, to tear it asunder like so would require a strike worth nearly 9,000 tons of TNT.
Sure, the beam rifle only has 16 shots, but who really cares when you just need one?
Last but not least, the Gundam carries 2 retractable beam sabers.
Cause you can't have space battles without royalty-free lightsabers.
But all these amazing weapons
He really
were
only likes to use
without
one,
an
but he can use
exceptional
two.
pilot. Despite still technically being a civilian, Amuro became the main pilot for the Gundam. Turns out, his skill was mostly thanks to his previously unknown abilities. Amuro was a new type.
Like,
Yep.
Pokemon?
See, apparently humankind was never meant to live under gravity's pull. In space, without it literally weighing down their souls, some humans developed psychic powers.
That is the dumbest backstory
I was
for
about
why
to
someone
say.
gets powers, and we've heard a lot of them, Wiz. So what, he can like read minds or something?
Sort of. These powers and their capabilities have little definition, often differing between different people. Most new types can instantly understand each other upon contact, even drawing
I see
kinship
that little
between
joke
sworn
down there.
enemies. Amuro's abilities in particular grant him something akin to precognition. He can predict exactly what will happen on the battlefield and where his enemies will be. and can capitalize on it if he reacts fast enough.
How could he possibly predict I'd attack from the other side?
He shot down targets too fast for the eye to see and navigated his friends through a collapsing fortress with no casualties. By the end of the war, his own reflexes were pushing the limits of the Gundam itself.
A magnetic coating was added to the Gundam to compensate, reducing the suit's friction and increasing its speed by 27%.
Over
Good
14
for him,
years
I
of
guess.
military service, Amuro became a legendary pilot. He even learned how to use these super fast funnel guns with his Psycho powers.
Speaking of speed, the Gundam is comparable to the red Zaku piloted by Amuro's rival Char, which is 3 times faster than the standard green model.
During the first large-scale battle with mobile suits, a Zaku flew through the battlefield in 7 seconds.
By comparing the 1,072
They're really going math into
Magellan
this.
class
Optimus
starships
wins.
in the distance, we can tell the Zaku flew over 7 miles. This puts the standard Zaku's top speed just under Mach 5. When tripled to compare to Char, this means the Gundam can move at least 11,000 miles per hour, 15 times the speed of sound. Highballing it with Amuro's new type powers and magnetic coating, it's possible the Gundam can move as fast as Mach 25. Though anything over that would put it dangerously close to re-entry speeds, which its chassis cannot survive on its own.
The
But
Gundam
Optimus
is strong
can.
enough to lift and throw this goofy mobile suit, and tough enough to power through a magnetic field that's 7,200 degrees Fahrenheit. It survived plenty of really big explosions, including a detonating asteroid and a nuclear blast which wrecked Amuro's home colony. I bet it could wipe out the space Nazis all on its own.
It nearly did. Amuro and his Gundam were instrumental to the war effort. It doesn't matter how much the Gundam was burned. It would always stand up, dispel the fear, and fly.
Die!
Okay.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, let me transform your eating habits.
And
By now, you've
pause. Oh no. Okay. I still think Optimus's chances are pretty good. But man, they kind of went in for a Gundam. I don't think they downplayed it by any means, but they also didn't cover. Okay, they covered it, but they didn't math it. They covered Megatron's planet feet, but they didn't math how much that weighs. And they also mentioned the Washington Monument, and they didn't say it out loud. So there's a lot of stuff they didn't make clear on Optimus' side, which was leading me to believe that he's going to win. Because remember, there's a bunch of times where they go more in depth in terms of math and stuff for the character who loses, so they can save the bigger numbers for why it did lose for the recap. Because if they had them all, if they had all the information in front of you before the fight even began, it's pretty obvious. It's easier to determine who wins, and that kind of ruins the point of the show. And I get that, but I kind of wish they go over it. They go over all the bigger numbers at the end. But that's just me. But okay, one thing they missed out is that the Matrix can grant Optimus precognition too. They probably mentioned it in the sidebar and I missed it, but they didn't have any mention of it. But they did say it could take down Unicron. And they did mention the Megatron planet feat. So I think Optimus's chances are still pretty good. But let's see. I'm crossing my fingers for you, Prime. Don't fail me now. Play. Here we go. This is where things get really nerve-wracking.
Amuro, come in. Where are you?
I'm checking something out, Sayla. It's more than meets the eye.
Let's make this my favorite episode. Go Prime.
We can't send backup.
Let's roll.
I do not see how this Gundam can win.
It's an enemy Mobile Suit! I told you! I told you! Too bad!
Come on, Prime. Come on, Prime.
There you are.
This soundtrack is amazing. I'm gonna be pissed if Optimus loses. There goes its gun.
Vile Decepticon, I have been in battle for countless eons.
This is where things get blind. So it does think. So Optimus does think that. So he does. Oh, there goes the shield. So Optimus does think that the Gundam's a Decepticon. Ow.
Not today.
Come on, Prime. No, I got its gun back. Come on. Come on, Prime. Come on, Prime. Oh. Optimus can survive re-entry, Gundam can't.
I hate gravity.
Never mind. What? Gundam doesn't. Oh, never mind. I thought the Gundam had no weapons left. No, there goes the blaster. Come on, Prime. Come on, Prime. This animation is fantastic. I did not expect them to take it to Earth. Ow. Come on, Prime. Come on, Prime. Come on, Prime. No. No. No.
Stop that.
Turn it around, Prime. Turn it around, Prime. Turn it around, Prime. Turn it around, Prime.
I must stand, so you shall fall.
So he said the words. Oh, that's it. That's it. Let's go!
He's got the touch! He's got the power!
The Gundam was an impressive machine, and Amuro was a skilled pilot, but Optimus's millions of years of battle experience completely overshadowed Amuro's 14. Also, we already know that Optimus was over 6 times faster and 9,000 times stronger.
Holy hell! Who knew Optimus was so freaking buff? But the Gundam held plenty of its own advantages. With Amuro's super future sense powers, he could keep up with Optimus's speed. And with the Gundam's firepower, who cares how much it could lift?
Unfortunately, the Gundam's limited ammunition meant this couldn't last. And even then, Optimus could certainly survive a shot from the beam rifle.
Remember that refinery explosion Optimus survived? The one you could see from outer space?
This blast left an enormous gash on the planet Cybertron. To measure the power of this explosion,
See, I told
we
you
needed to
guys.
compare it to the curve of the planet. Now, Cybertron's size is pretty inconsistent throughout G1 Transformers history, but even when using the alternating sizes between the cartoon and the comics, the blast is far more destructive than the beam rifle in both cases.
And Optimus just walked right out of that bitch. And this isn't some weird outlier just out of the comics either. In the cartoon, Megatron survived a blast that pushed Cybertron out of orbit. And he's pretty comparable to Optimus.
To be fair, the Gundam boasted some impressive durability feats too.
Like when Amuro accidentally blew up a Zaku's nuclear reactor right in his own face. Hey, give him a break. It was his first time.
This explosion created a hole in the space colony which sucked out Amuro's father.
Whoops. On the bright side, he's gonna save some money on Father's Day gifts, right?
And with his heightened mind, we deduced the scope of the explosion.
It's over 150,000 kilotons of TNT. That's 10,000 times more powerful than the bomb that dropped on Hiroshima, but still nowhere close to the refinery explosion Optimus survived.
Also, the Gundam couldn't dodge Optimus's ion blaster forever. It was fast enough to strike targets in orbit from ground level. That puts its laser speed over 3 million miles per hour.
Even when he knew it was coming, Amuro couldn't react quick enough to dodge or block anything that fast. And even then, Optimus's time in the Omni-Globe proves he can think way faster than Amuro.
And just to blow your mind even more, in order to obliterate Unicron with the Matrix, the energy output must have equaled more than 40 Yoda tons of TNT.
Like the Star Wars game! And you know what they say, size matters not, especially when Optimus has defeated opponents as big as Devastator.
The Gundam was a powerful mobile suit with some astonishing firepower, but was ultimately outmatched by the Autobot's strength, speed, durability, and experience.
I'd say Optimus was primed for this fight.
The winner is Optimus Prime.
I'm so
Thanks for watching,
happy
guys.
right
If you want
now.
the exclusive commentary on this episode, just click that little box over there. And if you want the battle music for yourself, click the link down below and you can get it off of iTunes. See you in the next one.
Like I said, I already know what it is, but that's gonna be really freaking sick. I'm really looking forward to that one. Let's freaking go, boys. That was so cool. I loved it so much. Oh my gosh. That's my favorite episode. Straight up. That's... Woo! Oh, that's awesome. Thank goodness Optimus took the win for that one. I was so nervous. Oh, I didn't know how they could do it. But I've said that before, and they've proven me wrong. But now, I am so happy. That was so good. That was so good. I don't know. I'm speechless. Straight up. I'm straight up speechless. That was so cool. And I knew he would use the Matrix for Killing Blow, but I had no idea what exactly he would do. But yeah, I'm super happy. I was on the edge of my seat too. Like when Optimus got stabbed in the arm, I thought, oh gosh, is he not going to turn this around? And then he did turn this around. And then he did turn it around. Oh my gosh, I can breathe now. My sister is like 2 rooms down across this wall, so she could probably hear me scream when Optimus won. But I am so freaking happy, and I am very, very satisfied with how that went. And that was really cool too. Soundtrack's really good. I still don't care. I still don't really. I still feel like Optimus's voice actor needed some work, but whatever. I can't speak for Amuro, obviously, and Sayla did a cameo. I can't speak for her either. Although Sayla was voiced by the girl who voiced Ruby, so that's something, I guess. And I guess Amuro was voiced by the guy who voices Todoroki from My Hero Academia. So that's something. I don't know. Another thing I felt kind of weird was Optimus's model. I get that I'm pretty sure it was based off of some toy, but it just looked really awkward looking. I don't know why. Maybe they just based it off of the wrong toy? I don't know. It just looked really weird. But yeah, I did not expect them to take the fight to Earth, so that was pretty neat. I thought the Gundam was going to die right then and there, to be honest. Because they said it can't survive re-entry. But whatever, I guess they just needed to find a reason to keep the fight going. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. That was a really, really good fight, and I'm very, very happy with how that went. So, I don't know what else to say. It was good. It was really good. It's my favorite of the season by far, and it's my favorite. It's probably my favorite of the whole show. Probably. What am I saying? Optimus 1. It is my favorite. Like there are some good ones out there. Like my current favorite, my favorite before this one was the Megazord versus Voltron, even though I wanted the Megazord to win. I guess like Sephiroth versus Virgil and Ryu versus Jin were good competitors for that. You might have expected me to say Crash versus Spyro because that was like my fight, but I knew it wasn't going to be better than those fights. You can want it all you want, it doesn't mean it's going to be the best. But yeah, I am very happy with how this turned out. I can breathe peacefully now. I've dragged this out for almost 50 minutes. So let's scoot right along to the next one. Nightwing versus Daredevil. Not the matchup I would have picked, to be honest. I would have picked Daredevil versus Kenshi. Although Kenshi versus Yoshimitsu from Tekken would be pretty cool now. Whatever, we'll see how it goes. But I can take solace in the fact that knowing that this is the first live-action death battle. It's not something I was asking for, like a lot of people were, but I get why people wanted it as a live. I get why people wanted a live-action fight. It just seemed like something that ScrewTech. It just seemed like something that was out of ScrewTech's reach, with their budget and everything. Because they've done live-action stuff before, but nothing on like this scale, on like a death battle scale. They'd have to partner with other people to do it, and they are. For those who don't know, ScrewTech is partnering up with Ismahawk, the creators of Minute Matchups, for this episode. So that's going to be pretty cool. And I'm not exactly as nervous about that one as I was this one, because I like both characters, but not to the extent of like other characters in the universe or Optimus. With that in mind, I'm going to be rooting for Daredevil for that one. I'm pretty sure he's kind of the popular pick considering his show, but I don't know. Nightwing's a Batman character, so obviously some people are gonna be betting on him because hey, he was trained by Batman. I'm like I said, I was with the G1 prediction blog for Optimus vs Gundam. I am also with them for this fight. The research isn't done yet, but it's getting there. And so far, I'm gonna have to say I think Daredevil's gonna win, but something Nightwing has could change that. I don't know. But that fight's gonna be cool, and I really if Nightwing does win, even though I'm rooting for Daredevil and I think he's gonna win. If Nightwing does win, I won't be really bothered by it. I like Nightwing, and it seems like there's a possibility for him to win, unlike this fight, where there was like literally no way the Gundam could win. But yeah, overall, I'm very satisfied with this episode, and I am very much looking forward to the next one. I'm rooting for Daredevil. I think Daredevil should win, but if Nightwing wins, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be cool. I'm super excited for it regardless. Also, you may have noticed that the reveal said that this is episode 99. This is the penultimate episode to their episode 100. I don't know how much I can. I don't know what episode 100 is, but what I will say. I feel like I shouldn't say this, but screw it. Episode 100 is going to be a hand-drawn fight done by Blind Ferret, the people who did Smokey Bear vs. McGruff the Crime Dog. And if you watched the infamous episode 10 of Brobuscus, which I really should find a way to make sure that we can get that to work again, because I got the set up now, so we'll find a way. But if you've watched that episode, if you haven't, you really don't have to. but if you want to, I guess I can't really stop you. Um, um, but if you've watched that, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of that fight, the Smokey versus McGraw fight. If you feel like ripping my throat out for saying that, just go watch episode 10 of Brobuscus, and and the explanation is there. But if you want the shortened version, basically I found it very sluggish, very slow, and the hits having no impact to them whatsoever really didn't help out either. And it doesn't help by the sound design, which really didn't fit the show. It fit the characters, but it didn't fit the show. There was also no hit effects, so it means that like it felt like they were like practice punches. Like if I were to like slap this, if I were to just slap my wall. You don't see any hit effects there. That's how it felt. I feel like while I feel like the sound isn't there bad. I feel like it being really sluggish and slow and lacking the hit effects, that's on their part. I'm assuming. I don't know exactly how that works, but yeah, so that's just I'm saying that to kind of give you an idea of what episode 100 is gonna be. I don't know what it's gonna be. They didn't show that at RTX. But there are two guesses I have in my mind at this moment in time. One of which is Mickey Mouse versus Bugs Bunny. Even though they said that using Mickey Mouse is going to be kind of hard, because of Disney being the so infamous company that they are, going out and copyrighting people for using their characters. Although in that sense, I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem because I know people are like, oh, what about all those Marvel and Star Wars characters? And to be fair, that's kind of different. But using Scrooge and having Goofy and Donald show up in Sora versus Pit, I feel like if Disney were to be that bad, I feel like they'd go after those two episodes. Granted, Scrooge won, so I don't know. So I guess if Mickey does win that one, I feel like they'd probably be fine. I digress. Given the nature of the characters and how many abilities they have, I really hope it's not that because of how Blind Parrot works. But the other possibility I have in my mind is kind of what I'm hoping it's going to be, but I don't expect it to be. It's going to be Galactus versus Unicron. They don't need to worry about a fast-paced action. The only thing is the hit effects they need to work on. But yeah, so I should wrap this up soon, but I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, so that's one possibility. But the thing about that is that the thing about that being the episode 100 is that episode 97 had Carnage, episode 98 had Optimus, and episode 99 has Daredevil. So having Galactus and Unicron to compensate for that would kind of be weird scheduling. I know people are like, oh, but they've done back-to-back episodes with Marvel, Sonic, and DC before. What's stopping them now? And yeah, they have, but then you bring in the fact that Optimus, who is from Transformers, as is Unicron, was just now, with Daredevil from Marvel, which is where Galactus is from, being next, and then Carnage before Optimus, who was from Marvel, Carnage, who was from Marvel, having been before Optimus. It just doesn't fit. I mean, I guess it's not the same thing, I guess. I would love for Galactus vs. Unicron to be episode 100. And I do want to point out that just because I don't want Mickey vs. Bugs to be episode 100 being that it's animated by Blind Ferret, doesn't exactly mean that I don't want Mickey versus Bugs to actually happen. I feel like that would be an amazing fight. I just want it to be animated by a different person or several different people. For example, they've swapped around realities before, like they've gone from 2D to 3D, so why not do that here? You know, they have 2D and 3D animators in-house. And heck, Jets did Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai, so they can throw in a little bit of hand-drawn elements in there. I don't know. Why not? Dare I say, why not? As a YouTuber I'm subscribed to would say. So yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. I've talked about what episode 100 could be, given the animators. I'm very much looking forward to Nightwing vs. Daredevil, even though I'm not exactly a proponent of live-action fights. Like, if they do it once in a while, and they keep doing it with Ismahawk. I know Bat in the Sun is an option, but A, I feel like that's not good enough, and B, not good enough. I like Bat in the Sun, but still. And B, I feel like Bat in the Sun wouldn't want to do it, even if they could. Because I don't know, I've heard they have some distaste to Screw Attack. Whatever. So keep the live action stuff to Ismahawk. Do it like once in a while, like once a season or once every 2 seasons. Just to make it kind of special. Kind of like with the hand-drawn stuff. Do it like, don't do it off and on. Just do it once in a while, like once or twice a season. I don't know. I feel like that's possible. Just to make it special and stick out amongst the 2D sprites and the 3D models. That's just me. Plus, there's only a select handful of matchups that work for hand-drawn for live action. The one I'm a proponent for is James Bond versus Jason Bourne. I feel like that would only really work in live action. And I think it would be really freaking cool in live action. But yeah, so keep the hand-drawn and the live action stuff to a minimum, a bare minimum, so that they stick out amongst the rest. I look forward to finding out what episode 100 is in 3 weeks. I'm very much looking forward to this episode, Nightwing vs. Daredevil. It's going to be cool. I'm rooting for Daredevil. I think he should win, but if Nightwing wins, okay. I'm going to like it regardless, and Optimus vs. Gundam is by far my favorite episode of the show so far. So, good on you guys. Okay, I've dragged on for too long. We're almost at an hour. Okay, I gotta go. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this fight as much as I did. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.